Hey, shalom, 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 everyone. My name is Zachariah Yahweh, and I'm coming back with another lesson prophesying the downfall of Babylon, aka America, home where all the gross abomination occur. I'm just coming back with another lesson, trying to stay up, because I want to go out and do a camp style lesson, but I'm gonna go to the lake, if the Lord will, a little later on. So I want to go into got a lot going on, I just got done watching this video where that Asian guy, what's his name? It's hard, I can't pronounce his name, but he was going into saying if America touched China interest, China gonna get in this war, and he was breaking down how the scenarios, how it might play out. So we gonna check this video out, and then I'm gonna bring some scriptures or whatever. Before we start, let's do this here. Let's get fair use and get no violation. Fair use of the copyright statute. Okay, fair use 17 USC 107 is a U.S. legal doctrine allowing limited use of copyright materials without permission for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. It is not a rigid rule, but a flexible case-by-case analysis based on 4 factors: purpose of use, nature of work, amount used, and market effect. So fair use, I'm not getting paid. This is strictly for educational purpose. Let me see here. I think it was right here. This it? Yep, I think this is right here. All right, let's go into this thing. So, like the other brothers, the other prophets have been saying, modern tech, the narrative essay style documentary script arguing that the extreme wealth concentration among modern tech billionaires is accelerating inequality, and that this has a broad social, political, and economic consequences. And we seeing them right now. Okay, I think they truly had something to do with this war. During that war, man. It said, but at the end of the day, it's the Lord putting on the mind of these, and really they doing it for the elites. Okay, let's start here. The modern tech elites as economic symbols. Okay, the opening frames figures like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Sardar Pichai, and Elon Musk as symbolic tech gods. They call them tech gods, whose wealth represent a new economic era. It emphasizes the rise of centile billionaires as a relatively recent historical development. The comparison to earlier decades, 1980 billionaires, highlights how extreme wealth accumulation has accelerated. The core claim is that what was once unimaginable is now routine at the top. All right, it says, so Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is being used here as a lens to question how power will concentrate over time. So the Lord is breaking it down, via his prophets. Okay, it said wealth expansion versus inflation narratives. Okay, the script connects billionaire growth to inflation and historical currency devaluation. It argues that nominal wealth increases are not just growth, but also reflect shifting monetary value. It said there's an implicit contrast between paper wealth expansion and everyday affordability. The framing pushes the idea that micro growth does not equal broad prosperity. This introduces tension between financial markets and lived experience. All right, wealth inequality as structural trend. Okay, the argument shift into a historical acceleration, more billionaires forming faster than before. It emphasizes exponential growth of wealth concentration compared to global economic growth. It said the key framing is that inequality is not accidental but systematic and accelerating. It said the comparison is made between elite wealth accumulation and stagnation average conditions. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is positioning as a more witness to this imbalance. So the Lord is witness this thing. He sees everything. All right. It says psychological framing of wealth distance. Okay. The script uses simple arithmetic comparisons, second to millions versus billions, to create emotional scale shock. It emphasizes how distant billionaire wealth is from ordinary human experience. The message is less analytical and more perceptual, designed to make scale feel abstract and overwhelming. This creates a psychological gap between normal labor time and capital accumulation time. All right, it reinforces the idea that wealth at the top operates under a different physics than wage labor. Okay, wealth concentration and system influence. Here the argument shift to power. Wealth is framed as political and structural influence. It claims extreme wealth can shape economies, policy, and social direction. A key assertion is that concentration leads to not just inequality, but systemic distortion. The idea is that wealth becomes governance adjacent power. Okay, this is where economic transition into political theory. Historical instability narrative. Okay, the script links inequality to historical cycles of unrest, revolution, and instability. It suggests that when inequality crosses thresholds, societies become volatile. Are we not saying this? It said reference is made to populism. All right. It said both left and right as a reaction to imbalance. The framing is cyclical, okay, history, imbalance, tension, political reaction. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh is used here as a framing anchor for moral consequences in systems. Okay, middle class compression thesis. The narrative identifies the shrinking middle class as a key structural indicator. It contrasts past decades of perceived stability with modern economic precarity. All right. Events like 2008 and COVID are used as accelerants in this decline narrative. The claim is that shock disproportionately benefit assets holders. This creates a divide between asset economy and labor economy. Mechanism of wealth growth. Three main mechanisms are identified: inheritance, monopoly, dominance, tax legal optimization strategies, the buy, borrowing, die model. It was presented as a central example of wealth preservation. This framed modern wealth as structurally self-reinforcing rather than earned repeatedly. The argument is that capital is designed to compound and persist across generations. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh is explicitly tied to questioning fairness of this structure. So the monopoly, power, and structural dominance. Okay, companies like Amazon, Google, Meta are used as examples of market concentration. The argument is that monopolies convert market dominance into political leverage. This shifts the discussion from personal wealth to institutional power. It suggests that markets themselves may no longer be fully competitive. This is a core claim about modern capitalism transitioning into platform dominance. All right. Inflation flow and Cantillon effect. The Cantillon effect is introduced to explain uneven distribution of new money. Early receivers of capital, bankers, corporation assets owners benefit first. Later receivers, wage earners, experience inflation after price adjusts. This creates structural lag between wealth expansion and cost of living impact. The argument reframes inflation as distributional, not just monetary. Okay, policy, solution, and limits. The final section proposes responses: higher taxation on ultra wealth, closing legal loopholes, and redistribution toward public goods. But it also acknowledges global complexities and implementation limits. There is no single universal policy presented. The tone shift from diagnosis to cautious reform. So Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh is positioning as a moral standard above policy systems. Okay, the 12, the core theses. It said the closing data is that wealth alone is not issue. Allocation and system design are the question become whether economic system serve broad stability or narrow accumulation. All right, the narrative leaves the audience with an open-headed open-ended tension rather than a conclusion. It invites reflection of fairness, structure, and sustainability. Ultimately, it frames economic as a moral system, not just a financial one. Let's see. And the thing is, they trying to. This is what these devils want, man. They want to, you know. I went into. They want to, they want to make us digital slaves last night, right? And I think I said I was gonna do a part two, so I think I'll name this part two of the lesson that I started on. I don't know if but anyway, and I got some clips where breaking down by Elon Musk and how they I got one video where the dude was going into showing that he was breaking down how Elon Musk and them, they gained their wealth through, like Donald Trump and them. They got their wealth from their father. They were given stolen wealth that they forefathers stole. Okay, like the rest of these elites. Now everything is hitting the fan, and people are seeing, a lot of people waking up to what's been going on for the last 100 years. I mean, well, 250 years. And then the thing is, they used us, the Israelites, man, to gain all this wealth from 500 years of free labor. Hold on, y'all, bear with me here. Okay, I'll just read this one right here. All right, so right now what's going on is you got systemic transfer mechanism. The discussion begins with a focus on wealth transfer dynamics. Okay, energy crises are framed as tools for redistribution of global capital. Average citizens bear the cost through inflation and scarcities. Meanwhile, shareholder classes accumulate disproportionate financial gains rapidly. This reflects structural imbalances embedded within modern financial systems. Oil, gas, LNG sectors benefits significantly. All right, from disruption. War and instability create artificial demand for energy commodities. The shock enabled profit concentration among major institutional investors. Retail population experienced declining purchasing power and economic pressure. The pattern suggests international and systemic capital consolidation trend. Okay, you got war as an catalyst. Conflict is portrayed as a recurrent economic accelerator mechanism. All right, it said wars generate reconstruction contracts. Okay, let me read it again. It said war generate reconstruction contracts as long-term industrial demand, energy infrastructure destruction increases, dependency on external suppliers. This cycle reinforces profits for multinational corporations and financiers. Okay, the Russian the Russian the Russian Ukraine conflict is cited as a modern example. Historical parallels include prior oil embargoes and regional wars. Military and industrial expansion directly contribute to reported GDP growth. However, this growth often excludes broader population benefit dis- distribution. Wars, war become both destructive and economically incentivized simultaneously. This duality raises questions about underlying strategic motivation globally. Commodity market volatility signals commodity prices swing are described as systemic stress indicators. Oil, metals, and fertilizer reflect underlying economic instability trends. Large fluctuations suggest attempt at structural economic rebalancing. The 1970s to 2000 provide historical comparison benchmarks. Post 2005, the volatility marks a shift toward heightened instability cycles. Okay, it says supply shocks amplify price movements across global markets rapidly. These cycles correlate with geopolitical distribution and policy decisions. All right, commodity markets act as the economy's fundamental heartbeat indicator. Instability here signals deeper systemic fragility beneath financial layers. This supports the theory of an ongoing structural transformation process. And hey, this is what we're seeing right now. They say they want to they want to do a great reset. So they had to create all these wars and all these events like COVID-19, order out of chaos. Okay, they need a distraction. They create these distractions. The cons to try to work on the mind of the people, and especially the poor people. Which is already done lost their mind. It said decline traditional. It's a decline of traditional control. It's a established institutional like OPEC are viewed as weakening of structures. Damn, what the fuck? It says decline of traditional control structure. Established institutions like OPEC are viewed as weakening structures. New alliances and power dynamics are emerging globally. The UAE evolving role illustrates shifting geopolitical alignments. Traditional systems no longer fully control global energy markets. New actors and decentralized strategies are gaining influence rapidly. This reflects a broader transition towards multipolar global governance. Legal institutions may be intentionally phased out over time. Hey, this is talking about this language is talking about they gonna cross America out, man. It said a replacement could emerge under new branding or framework. The tradition appears gradual but strategically coordinated across sectors. This creates uncertainty while enabling systemic restructuring efforts. Okay, 5, it said, rise of multipolar financial systems. The world is shifting toward multiple competing power centers. China and Western financial systems dominate opposing economic poles. BRIC represent a coalition challenging Western financial dominance. And this is the problem with here, America's, the elites, well, actually the Americans think, well, the leaders, they think America's gonna stay on top, but no, you got other powers like this BRICS. They say the BRIC represent a coalition challenging Western financial dominance. Alternative payment systems reduce reliance on traditional SWIFT networks. Gold and commodities regain importance in international trade settlements. Currency competition intensifies between dollar and emerging alternatives. Trade routes and infrastructure investment reinforces regional alliances. This fragmentation reduces centralized global financial control gradually. Polarity introduces both resilience and increased geopolitical tension. The transition reshapes global economic power distribution significantly. Okay, financial industrial complex influence large assets. Managers exert significant influence over capital flows. Institutions like BlackRock shape global investment strategies. They coordinate with governments and corporations on macro decision. Capital allocation determines which industry expand or decline rapidly. This influence extends across energy, technology, and infrastructure sectors. Global policies often align with investment incentives from these entities. Their reach transcends national borders and political systems entirely. This creates a layer of power beyond traditional government structures. Financial become the dominant force shaping economic outcomes. This concentration raised concerning about accountability and transparency globally. Okay, see, so America can't go around the earth bullying people no more, man. They've been doing it for over, 250 years? And more so now, when they formed this beast system in after World War II, they all became allies, and then they just started. They created this monetary thing. Let me read it again. It says, let me go back. It said financial industry complex. That's it. That's what it's called. The financial industrial complex influence large asset managers, exert significant influence over capital flows. You see, institutions like BlackRock shape global investment strategies. They coordinated with governments and corporations on macro decisions. Capital allocation determine which industries expand or decline rapidly. This influence extends across energy, technology, and infrastructure sectors. Global policies often aligned with investment incentives from these entities. Their reach transcends national borders and political system entirely. This creates a layer of power beyond traditional government structures. See, financialization becomes the dominant force shaping economic outcome. This concentration raises concerns about accountability and transparency globally. China industrial dominance. China controls a significant portion of global manufacturing capacities. It dominates supply chains from raw materials to finished goods. Industrial infrastructure ownership extends beyond domestic borders. Increasingly, ports, railroads, and factories reinforce global economic influence. The Chinese Communist Party maintains strict capital control domestically. This prevents internal takeover or strategic industries to assets. China approach contrasts sharply with Western open market systems. Its models prioritize long-term national control over short-term profits. This creates resilience against external financial pressures and shocks. All right. It said such dominance positions China as a central global economic player. It said digital currency infrastructure expansion. Digital currency are rapidly becoming integral to financial systems. Central banks are developing programmable currency technologies worldwide. China digital yuan leads the large-scale implementation effort currently. It said Europe and others are testing similar digital currency framework. These systems enable real-time tracking and controlled transactions. They integrate a broader financial surveillance and compliance mechanism. Programmability allows restrictions on how money can be used. This introduces unprecedented levels of financial oversight capability. Digital currency could replace traditional banking infrastructure gradually. Their adoption marks a major shift in monetary system evolution. All right, surveillance states developed technological systems are enabling expanding surveillance capabilities globally. Data centers and AI systems process vast behavioral information continuously. Governments and cooperation gain deeper insight into population activities. This data informs policy decisions and enforcement mechanisms directly. Social credit systems represent one potential application of this technology. China Sesame Credit exemplifies such frameworks in practice. These systems reward or penalize behavior based on predefined criteria. Integration with financial systems increases their enforcement effectiveness. Privacy concerns grow as surveillance infrastructure expand rapidly. This trend raises ethical questioning about freedom and autonomy. Hey man, this is going on right here in America. America getting ready for us to do the same thing. All right, that's why they need this war. They need to take Iran, but it ain't gonna happen. That's what the stumbling block gonna come in at. But see, at the end of the day, this is all the Lord's plan. This is His movie. All right. It said energy as a control mechanism. energy availability, direct impacts economic and social stability levels. Shortages can force behavioral compliance. See, and this is what they're gonna do. You're gonna have a lot of people gonna take this thing, man. It said without overt coercion methods, people adapt consumption habits during perceived collective crisis. Naturally, this creates a subtle but powerful form of social control. And this is what these at least want. All right, they want everybody to be chipped. That's Revelation 13:16. It says energy dependency ties individual to centralized infrastructure systems. Disruption can justify restriction framed as necessary for stability. This parallels previous public health compliance dynamics observed globally, controlled through scarcities may face less resistance than direct mandates. Energy become both an economic and political leverage tool. Its role in future governance structures appear increasingly significant. See, I'll continue. Okay, let's go. Let's go into the lesson. Let me get a couple precepts, and then we watch some video. Okay, we're gonna start right here. Data as a strategic resource. See, they need data, man. That's why they setting up all these fucking energy them grid what they call them like down in Memphis. Data center, they popping up everywhere and getting people cancer. Man, these people crazy as hell, man. It said data. What is a data as a strategic resource? What does this mean? It says lens, knowledge, dominion, and watchfulness. So modern systems treat data as a form of power and control. Information about people is gathered continuously through digital life. This creates a structure where behavior is tracked and analyzed. Power concentrates in entities that control large data systems. This reflects how knowledge can be used for dominion or influence. See, hey, this is what we coming into a totalitarian technocracy. It's another word that I want to use. I can't think of it right now. I can't think of it. It'll come back to me. I hate to open up my notebook and get it and pull it out of there, but that's time consuming. It'll come back to me as we go, Lord willing. It says, so this creates a structure where behavior is tracked and analyzed. See, power concentrates in entities that control large data systems. This reflects how knowledge can be used for dominion and influence. Let's get Daniel chapter 12, verses 4. And it reads, it said, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the book, Slavius. O thou Daniel. It said, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end, and many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So that's what's going on, man. Knowledge is being increased. We at the end. We at the end of this main reign of terror, and they think, I don't know who's telling them that if they succeed, that they gonna get they're gonna become immortals. So that's the Lord. I think it's the Lord doing. He deceiving them to think they're gonna become immortal. They can that this thing they can pull it off. In their contorted mind, they think they can pull this thing off and defeat the Most High. Okay, it said. So it said, and knowledge shall be increased. So data expansion reflects the increase of knowledge in the latter time. See, we're in the latter time now. Systems built on information resemble prophetic patterns of awareness growth, but knowledge without righteousness become a tool of imbalance. All right, and that's what we're seeing. It's have become a tool of imbalance. Okay, you know, hey, you got like I said, that shit. People getting canceled from these data centers. It said, but knowledge without righteousness become a tool of imbalance. The increase of data mirrors the increase of global accountability. We are in an age where nothing remains hidden for long. See? Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Then we watch the video. And then, yeah. And I'll just bring out scriptures as we go. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 14. And I'm gonna start at 15 and read down to 22. And then we'll start the lesson. It said, and set aside. Matter of fact, that I might start up a little bit. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna start at let's start at the top. Let's start at the top, man. Read these verses as we go. It said, and it came to pass in the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of the bush over against me and said, Ezra. And I said, here I am, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Then he said unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses and talk with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount of where I held him for him by me a long season. And I told him many wondrous things and showed him the secrets of the times and the end. Okay, and commanded him, saying, these words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And now I say unto thee, that thou may lay up in thy heart the signs that I have showed, and the dream that I had seen, and the interpretation which thou hast heard. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee until the time be ended. So Esdras is back. Shit, I don't know. I might be Esdras. I don't know. Shit, we don't know. And there's no remember who's who. But that where faith come in. I think, you know, because I took on that name Zachariah, man. You know, like Spirit told me, Zachariah. Okay, and but yeah, we don't know. But Ezra is back. He might be one of the other prophets. He might be Elder Yasawama, you know, Elder Apostle Taha, you know, but he's back. Or Elder Apostle Gabar, for that matter, you know. Man, it's hot up here. Hold on, y'all. Let me come. I'm drinking this coffee. Yes. There. All right, here we go. Yeah, so I'm gonna get a couple more precepts and then we're gonna go and watch some of the film. Watch some of the video. It said, for the world has lost its youth and the time began to wax old. See, so we in the end of this main age. The earth that began to wax old is waxing old. It said, verse 11, it said, for the world is divided into 12 parts, and 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of the 10th part of a 10th part. Verse 12, it said, and there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Verse 13, it said, now therefore set thy house. Say what? It said, now therefore set thy house in order and reprove thy people, and comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. See, we got to comfort our people by doing this commandment right here, this verse. It said, now therefore set thy house. Say, get your mind right. Set thy house in order and reprove thy people. Say, get your mind right and reprove thy people, and comfort such of them as be in trouble, and with troubled mind, fucked up, confused. Now it said, and now renounce corruption. So we got the prophet. That's what we're doing. We renounce corruption. Start with the elder apostles and bishops and like-minded men on down. Okay, it said, verse 14, it said, let go from thee the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, and put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most grievous, most heavy unto thee, and haste to flee from these times. Verse 16, for yet greater evil, say, for yet greater evils than those that thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. See, so he was commanded to right then. So we in that time where all these greater evils are manifesting right now. So when you go in the second Ezra, the 15th chapter, verses 5, that plague, the Lord is sending that plague. That's the evil. Well, it's been brewing for over a couple 250 years here in America. But now the Lord is bringing, he's finna set it, like the brother said, that the priest from Mississippi said, the Lord is turning it up a notch. Okay. Let me see what was it. And it said, and haste. I mean the get in hurry, to haste thee to flee. So we got to get our mind right and flee from this man, mentally, physically and mentally. It said, and haste to flee from these times. For yet greater evil than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. See? So we in that hereafter right now in that time. It said, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age. See, look how the earth is weaker through the age, the old age. So much more shall evil increase. See? Are we not seeing evils increase upon them that dwell therein? See? Are we not seeing this? Verse 18 said, for the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. See, leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the vision to come, which thou hast seen. See? So the Lord had revealed himself and showed him the vision. It said, then answered I before thee and said, behold, Lord, you know, the angels, they was considered Lord. You know, you can approach them as a Lord. Okay, the archangels. Okay, but they was coming on the behalf of Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right, it said, behold, I will. It said, behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present, but they that shall be born after, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness. See, right now the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein without light are without light. See, a lot of our people are without light. 2/3. If you are coming to this thing and be enlightened, man, hey, take that as a blessing. That's the Lord working on your mind. Okay, it says, verse 21, for thy law is burnt. Say what? For thy law is burnt. Therefore, no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. That shall begin. Verse 22. It said, but if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Spirit, or Holy Ghost, right here got Holy Ghost, into me, and I shall write all that has been done in the world since the beginning, which were written in the law of Moses, that men may, and also in the New Testament, that men may find thy path, and that they which will live in the latter time, in the latter days may live. Okay, and that's what happened, man. So right now we in that time. Okay. And the times got corrupt. So corruption increases when knowledge is used without a moral grounding. See, data system can expose truth, but also distort intent. The structure of modern information mirrors ancient warnings of corruption. See, control of information becomes a test of stewardship in the last days. See, so yeah. Okay, let's go and watch the video. How much time we in? Oh, man, a whole hour we in, man. I might well. Let's go. We'll watch. I got one for you. I was flowing in the spirit. The spirit had me to go there. Let's see. Right here. This is one I want.
Today, I want to talk about something that has just pushed this conflict to a whole new level. China has sent a direct warning to President Trump about the Strait of Hormuz blockade. And the words China used were extremely exact, extremely careful, and highly threatening. According to reports, Chinese officials told the United States, if you touch our energy lifeline, we will respond if you touch. Those two words are very important. This is not a diplomatic suggestion. This is not a polite negotiation. This is a threat, a direct threat from one nuclear power to another about what will happen if American actions in the Gulf disrupt Chinese energy security. And I need to lead you very carefully through what this warning really means, because this is not only about the Strait of Hormuz. This is not only about Iran. This is about whether the world keeps going under American one-sided control, or whether we are entering a truly multipolar era where other major powers will use force to defend their interests, even when that means directly facing the United States. And the answer to that question will reshape everything about how the global economy works, how international conflicts are settled, and what kind of world your children inherit. Let me begin by explaining why China is giving this warning now. Because China does not make threats lightly. China's whole foreign policy for the past 40 years has been built on avoiding direct confrontation with the United States. China preferred to grow economically, strengthen military power quietly, and avoid provoking American pressure. So why is China leaving that strategy now? Why is China willing to openly threaten the United States over the Strait of Hormuz? The answer is simple. China has no choice. China imports about 40% of its total energy from the Persian Gulf. 40%. That energy moves through the Strait of Hormuz. If that strait is closed, if those tankers stop sailing, the Chinese economy does not simply slow down. The Chinese economy faces possible collapse. Chinese factories shut down. Chinese cities face blackouts. Chinese transportation networks come to a stop. Chinese food production, which depends on diesel and fertilizer made from natural gas, becomes impossible to keep going. This is not economic inconvenience. This is an existential economic threat. So when the United States closes or allows the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, when that closure continues for weeks, China sees its economic survival being threatened by American military action. And China is now saying very clearly, we will not allow our economy to be destroyed by decisions made in Washington that serve American interests but endanger Chinese survival. Now, let me explain what "if you touch" really means in practice, because this is not abstract diplomatic language. This is clear strategic communication. China is telling the United States that if American military action continues, keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. If American policy continues to disrupt the flow of Gulf energy to China, then China will take action to defend Chinese interests. What kind of action? China is carefully not saying, and that uncertainty is intentional. It gives China maximum flexibility. But let me walk you through what choices China actually has. Option 1, economic retaliation. China could place economic costs on the United States in response to the Hormuz closure. China could restrict exports of rare earth minerals that American technology companies depend on. China could sell off US Treasury bonds, pushing American borrowing costs higher. China could limit American companies' access to Chinese markets. China could turn supply chains into a weapon, cutting off critical parts that American manufacturers depend on. All of this would hurt the American economy seriously, but it would also hurt China. Economic retaliation harms both sides, so this is probably not China's first choice, but it remains an option. Option 2, military help for Iran. China could give Iran advanced weapon systems, intelligence support, satellite data, and economic help to support Iran keep fighting. China could provide Iran with air defense systems that make American bombing much more costly. China could deliver electronic warfare capabilities that disrupt American operations. China could offer diplomatic protection at the United Nations, vetoing anything that authorizes force against Iran. This option lets China raise the cost of American military action without directly confronting American forces. It is a safer option than direct military confrontation, and it is probably what China is already doing to some degree. Option 3, direct military intervention. China could send naval forces to the region. China could escort Chinese-flagged tankers through the strait. China could create a naval presence that makes it impossible for America to keep the blockade without risking a direct military clash with Chinese forces. This is the most dangerous option. This is the option that could lead to direct military confrontation between two nuclear powers. But it is also the option that China might choose if China believes its economic survival requires it. And this brings us to the basic question: would China really risk war with the United States over energy security? And my answer, based on strategic logic and historical patterns, is yes. China would risk war, not because China wants war, but because from China's point of view, allowing America to control whether the Chinese economy works is unacceptable. It is giving up Chinese sovereignty. It is accepting permanent lower status. And China has spent 40 years building economic and military power specifically to avoid being in that position. Let me give you a historical example to make this clear. In 1941, the United States placed an oil embargo on Japan. imported about 80% of its oil from abroad. The American embargo meant Japan faced economic collapse within months. Japan had two choices: accept American demands and become subordinate to American power, or go to war to secure other energy sources. Japan chose war. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. Japan invaded Southeast Asia to secure oil fields. This was not irrational. This was a logical response to an existential economic threat. Now, I am not saying China will attack America the way Japan did. The situation is different. The weapons are different. The consequences are different. But the basic logic is the same. When a great power faces an existential economic threat created by another power's actions, that threatened power will consider military options to protect its survival. China is now in a position similar to Japan in 1941. China depends on energy that moves through a choke point controlled by another power, and that other power's military actions are disrupting that energy flow. And China is being forced to choose between accepting economic destruction or taking action to secure its energy supplies. China is choosing to warn America that action is coming if the disruption continues. Now, let me explain what this warning means for the current conflict between America and Iran. Because China's involvement, even the threat of Chinese involvement, completely changes the strategic calculation. America went to war against Iran believing that it could act alone, that it could close the Strait of Hormuz, bomb Iranian targets, pressure the Iranian economy, and eventually force Iran to surrender. The assumption was that no other major power would step in to stop America. China has just broken that assumption. China is saying, if your war with Iran continues to disrupt our energy security, we will step in. We will make this war more costly for you. We will support Iran. We will protect our interests, even if that means confronting you directly. This changes the conflict from a regional war between America and Iran into a possible great power confrontation between America and China. And that is a completely different level of danger and complexity, because now America has to calculate not just the cost of defeating Iran, but the cost of also managing confrontation with China. And those costs might be too much to bear. Subscribe, because what I am describing is the most important shift in global power dynamics in decades. The era of unchallenged American one-sided action is ending, and China's warning over Hormuz is the moment that shift became impossible to deny. Let me walk you through what happens if China follows through on its warning. If China decides that words are not enough and action is needed. Scenario 1. China provides advanced weapons to Iran. Chinese air defense systems to protect Iranian infrastructure. Chinese anti-ship missiles to threaten American naval forces. Chinese electronic warfare. Systems to disrupt American operations. Chinese satellite intelligence to help Iran target American assets. This would not end the war, but it would make the war much more expensive and more dangerous for America. American pilots would face stronger air defenses. American ships would face more advanced threats. American operations would be disrupted by jamming and interference. The cost in American lives and American resources would rise greatly, and the timeline for achieving victory would stretch for an unknown amount of time. Scenario 2. China creates a naval presence in the Gulf. Chinese warships deployed to protect Chinese energy interests. Chinese naval escorts for tankers carrying Gulf oil to China. Chinese declaration that any interference with these tankers will be considered an act of war against China. This scenario puts American and Chinese naval forces close together during an active conflict. The risk of an incident, of miscalculation, of an accidental clash becomes huge. One mistake, one trigger-happy officer, one wrongly identified radar contact, and suddenly, America and China are shooting at each other. And once shooting starts between nuclear powers, the escalation dynamics become unpredictable and possibly catastrophic. Scenario 3. China opens alternative supply routes. China speeds up pipeline construction from Russia and Central Asia.
Okay, we're gonna do part 2 to this lesson. I'm gonna get some scriptures. Cause I got 30 more minutes. I want to go try to keep them under an hour and a half. How much time we have? Okay. So the prophetic pattern. So the prophets often use trade and commerce as a mirror to expose spiritual pride in nations. Ezekiel prophesied against Tyre is one of the clearest examples of a system built on global exchange and luxury. It showed the economic reach without moral grounding becomes a target for judgment. So the language described not just a city, but an entire network of dependency among nations. All right, when that center is removed, the surrounding system is revealed as unstable. All right, let's start here. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 27. It said, "The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Now, thou son of man, take up a lamentation for Tyrus, and say unto Tyrus, O thou that art situated at the entry of the sea, which art thou," it said, "which art a merchant of the people for many isles. Thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, O Tyrus, thou hast said, I am of perfect beauty. Thy borders are in the midst of the seas. Thy builders have perfected thy beauty." So this description of Tyre highlights a system centered on trade routes and maritime dominance. Its strength is portrayed as a geographic and economic, not moral or spiritual. Okay, the phase merchant of the people for many isles show interconnected reliance between nations, yet the confidence of perfect beauty reflect internal pride built from external wealth, appearance, and commerce rather than righteousness. All right. So it's just like all these oligarchs and all these elites. They fighting to see who gonna be the king of the hill, and they trying to knock China down, because China is already implementing this digital thing already, and they oppressing their people like a motherfucker over there, boy. You know, I know the mob, the China mob, boy, man, the motherfucker right about. They were getting that money, that dog, but they still got the yuan, so they still getting their money, man. They probably got black markets with their yuan still going. Okay. It said so the phrase merchant of the people for many issues shows interconnected reliance between nations, yet the confidence of perfect beauty reflects internal pride built from external wealth. The foundation of the system, it showed as appearance of commerce rather than righteousness. See, this describing America, man, to me. It said, let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse, I'm going to read from 21 to 25. It said, "Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth." Okay, sword, famine, and great confusion. So things might loosen a little bit, but hey, and then you gonna have total. Then they're gonna come with great confusion, man. That's the order out of chaos. It said, even then shall evils grow upon the earth. Sword, famine, and great confusion. It said, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish. See, a lot of people gonna die. of famine. It said the others that escape the hunger shall be, it said, shall the sword destroy. See, that's the modern day sword is a handgun. It said, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no more to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down, and there shall be no man left to till the ground, till the earth, and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? So a lot of death coming, y'all. It said this passage show how economic appearance can mask deeper instability. Even when systems seem abundant, underlying collapse is already forming. See, that, are we not seeing this? It said it shifts from trade-based imagery to disruption of supply and survival structures. The breakdown affects production, distribution, and human order itself. What looks stable externally is revealed as vulnerable when judgment unfolds. See, so the consistent pattern across both texts is dependent on a system that appears strong but are not self-sustaining. Okay, this is testament. This is talking about America. You know, and these everybody's trying to come up against that dollar. You know, the dollar, man, they were using that dollar as leverage. That DI currency is leverage, man. Now, you know, all these other nations, they know they don't peep America game. They up on America now. They know how this devil work. It took them 40 years, 50 years to figure it out, but now they figured it out. Well, you know, it's a sign of the time. Okay, it's a sign of the time we're living in. We're at the end of an age, man. At the end of this man rulership. You know, the Lord blessed him with the sword. Now his time is coming to a rough end. And so what's gonna bring about his demise? You're gonna have China. They're gonna join Russia, and NATO and all these nations. They gonna all come up against the small hats and America. And this place gonna become a lake of fire, man. This what they gonna all come together and shoot them arrows. When things get so fucking fucked up out here, and then when America think they don't these elites, the Rothschilds and so on and so forth, think they done fed their belly through the what's his name, Elon Musk, and that wall, what's his name, Zuckerberg, and all these tech giants and shit, which I'm gonna show y'all in a minute. You know, hey, you know, they all this shit coming to erupt. This is what's coming. So it shifts from trade-based imagery to disruption of supply and survival structure. See, so the breakdown affects production, distribution, and human order itself. What looks stable externally is revealed as vulnerable when judgment unfolds. The consistent pattern across both texts is dependent on systems that appear strong but are not self-sustaining. See, so these systems seem strong but they're not self-sustaining. All right. It said trade networks and economic stability are shown as temporary constructs, not permanent security. That's right. It said when judgment of disruption comes, interconnected systems feel the impact simultaneously. The illusion of permanence is exposed through sudden reversal. See, so the one is centered on where trust is placed when a system began to shake. See, so right now the Lord is shaking up this thing, shaking this thing up. You know, he said it's gonna be a great shaking in the earth. Let's get one more and we'll watch more of the video. We'll go about 2.5. About 2 hours like I did yesterday. That video, they upload that video, man, real quick. Let me see, can we get a 2? Because a lot of my videos have been failing. I don't know why. It said, so the same prophetic pattern continues when scriptures move from natural systems into broader themes of global shaking and redistribution of power. What begins as economic strength is repeatedly shown to be something that can be removed without warning. The emphasis is not only on collapse, but on the illusion of stability that precedes it. So prophets describe systems that appear fortified yet remain dependent on conditions outside human control. This sets the stage for the idea that security built on commerce alone is temporary. See? And get Haggai chapter 2. Chapter 2, and we're going to read 6 to 9. It said, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake, say what? And I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land, and I will shake, say what? And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith Yahweh of hosts. So the Lord said they're gonna come. He gonna come. They're gonna come down there from the shaking, which right now he's doing right now by bringing about, staging this disorder, universal disorder throughout the whole earth. Okay, this plague is not only in America; it's affecting the whole earth. At 2nd Ezra 15 verses 5, that's that shaking. The Lord sending them plague. Okay, and Isaiah 19 verses 1. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Let me bring that out. Let's get that Isaiah 19 real quick. Come on now. God damn Bible. That damn blue letter, man. You know, I think I need to update this damn phone, man, because it's taking forever to upload. Isaiah chapter 19 verses 1. It said the burden of Yahweh, the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh, say what? Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of the Egyptians shall melt in the midst of it. See? So that the Lord is moving in the earth right now. Verse 2, and I will set Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Hey man, that's going on right now. Okay? And it's going to get worse. Verse 3, it said, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst of, thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to their idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to wizards. See, that's all this is talking. That's that witchcraft. They consulting with these spirits. You know, these spirits, like, you know, they had that project Looking Glass. They got their AI. They got their data centers and all that, you know, all this bullshit, man. That shit ain't gonna help them, man. That ain't nothing but a high level witchcraft. All right. It said, verse 4, and the Egyptian will I give over. Say what? And the Egyptian will I give over into the hands of a cruel lord. That cruel lord is Donald Trump. And the hierarchy over him, which is the elites. You know, they got that pyramid, man. Right now, they chose him to be bring this old world out, and to bring in a new digital slavery. But yet they want to be the king of the hill, to control. They want to just gank China from the digital thing and take over it. I mean, at least they say China is a threat. China and Russia. That's what these verses are talking about. It said, and the Egyptian would I give over into the hand of a cruel lord. See, that's happening right here in America. And a cruel lord and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. See? So the Lord is here. The Lord, through it via his angels, is moving throughout the earth right now. And more so than ever here in Babylon, in America. Haggai chapter 2, verses 6 through 9, it said, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land, and I will shake all nations. Say what? And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith Yahweh of hosts. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, saith Yahweh of hosts. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than the former. Saith Yahweh of hosts. And in this place I will give peace, saith Yahweh of hosts. See, the Lord will give us peace as elect. You see, so that shaking language expand the scope beyond one nation or trade route into all systems of stability. Heaven, earth, sea, and land represent total structures of existence being unsettled. See? Unsettled. It said wealth is directly redefined as belonging ultimately to the Most High. See, all that stuff they written about, all that belongs to the Lord. It's a not human system. This removes the assumption that economic accumulation equals lasting security. See, the focus. It said the focus. Excuse me. The focus shift from possession to authority behind what is allowed to stand. It gets 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verses 27 through 30. For now are the plagues come, say what? For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth. And yea, say what? And yea, say what? And yea shall remain in them. For Yahweh, say what? For Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua shall not deliver you. So they're talking about the 2/3 that join unto this system. Or those who gonna take that chip. It said, because ye have sinned against him, behold, an horrible vision and appearance thereof from the east. Talking about the dragons of Arabia, where the nation of dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. See, that's that military, and then also they got them ICBM bombs, like them missiles. that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. See, all of them gonna tremble. It said also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall come forth as wild boars. That's talking about them Iranians, boars of the woods, and with great power shall they come to join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of Syria, of the Syrians. Hey man, this thing finna go down. Like I said, it's finna get worse. It ain't gonna get no better. All right. It said this passage portrays instability spreading across multiple regions at once. Are we not seeing that? With that Strait of Hormuz locked off like that? And right now, China's still getting their stuff. Some of these people that are paying that toll, they getting across. And America ain't gonna fuck with China shit, because America know what's at stake, man. China got them big ass bombs, man. One bomb, right, and they bombs can reach America, man. And that's what's finna get ready to go down. America, see, the Lord putting on Trump that cool Lord to escalate this thing, to make this thing escalate. Okay? That's the vision I'm seeing. Oh, let's go back and watch some video. We'll come back. Let's finish watching the rest of this. Then I got another video, a couple more videos we can watch. We'll watch about another 20 minutes of it, and then I'll just bring out some more scripture. About 2.5. See, can we get 2.5? Let's see this here, man. The brother here from Arizona, Indian Nation. Then we'll go back to that little small clip. Let's watch this. Then we'll go back to that brother.
Lawsuit was filed in New York this week alleging that an executive director at JP Morgan turned one of her employees into an intercourse slave, even though he did not want to partake in any of the acts, including sucking her toes. JP Morgan is standing with their employee and saying that the employee that filed the lawsuit did not cooperate properly with HR after filing a complaint. Glamorous JP Morgan exec accused of turning married male broker into her office slave. Claims of obscene forced acts that made him cry, and also she was spiking his drink with drugs like Viagra because he allegedly couldn't get hard for her. Hajdini, allegedly, she's Albanian, be careful.
Wow.
Allegedly ordered him to suck her toes, pushed him to the ground, and sat on his face, berating him when he was unable to sustain arousal. Hajdini has been at JP Morgan for 14 years. She's been an executive director since February 2021. The lawsuit also accuses JP Morgan Chase of enabling the alleged abuse and retaliating against the banker after he reported, claiming the firm placed him on involuntary leave, destroyed his reputation, and allowed threats against him to continue while Hajdini and others went unpunished. There are some pretty unbelievable quotes in this. Doe said in complaint that Hajdini invited him out for drinks, but he declined. In response, she allegedly said, "If you don't F me soon, I'm going to ruin you. Never forget, I effing own you." According to the lawsuit, Hajdini said, "Do you want to get promoted at the end of the year or not? Do you want a future at JP Morgan? It's that simple. I don't know why you're fighting this." Hajdini then allegedly removed her shirt, began fondling her breasts, and racially insulted Doe's wife, remarking, "I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these if this is all fake, unbelievable writing by whoever put this out there. You're gonna need to earn it, my little Arab boy toy, Doe alleges she told him during a work social event at her private members club. During the same event, he claimed she reportedly groped his groin under the table and spat in her hands, running them over his neck and head. This is the dream for a lot of people, but I do want to say this is not cool. It's true. Not cool, not cool. I would hate for that to happen to me. But no, I shouldn't be joking about that. Then, allegedly, on his birthday, Hajjini went up to him and said, "Birthday BJ for the brown boy, my little brown boy." Again, worst nightmare. No, I'm kidding. I can't. I'm just a joke.
Hey, these people
Can't
wicked
be doing
as
this
hell,
in the
man.
workplace, Miss Hajjini. But this is all election. As I said, JP Morgan standing by her. JP Morgan Chase said a thorough internal investigation found no evidence to support the accusations. Following the investigation, we don't believe there's any merit to these claims. And spokesperson, while numerous employees cooperated with the investigation, the complainant refused to participate and has declined to provide facts that would be central to support his allegations. The former JP Morgan employee says that he's been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and continues to struggle financially.
Hey, these devils are these demons are wicked as hell,
unable to
man.
find another job.
These devils wicked as hell, man. Let's go back to this other
The
video.
world's first 360 drone, anti-gravity A1.
Opens alternative supply routes. China speeds up pipeline construction from Russia and Central Asia. China creates overland energy corridors that completely bypass the Strait of Hormuz. China redirects its economy away from Gulf dependence and toward land-based suppliers. This scenario avoids direct military confrontation, but it shows a permanent strategic shift. It means the Gulf loses its leverage over the Chinese economy. It means the petrodollar system, which depends on everyone needing Gulf oil, gets weaker further. It means American control over global energy flows wears away. And it means China becomes less vulnerable to American pressure in future conflicts. Now let me explain what this means economically, because China's warning is not just about military strategy. This is about economic power and who controls the global economic system. For 50 years, America has controlled global energy flows through military dominance in the Gulf and control of sea lanes. That control gave America enormous economic leverage. Nations that needed energy had to cooperate with American foreign policy because America could disrupt their energy supplies. This is how America maintained the petrodollar. This is how America enforced sanctions. This is how America shaped global trade rules. But if China is now willing to use force to protect its energy security, if China is willing to directly confront America over control of energy flows, then American leverage disappears. China is basically saying, we will not allow you to use energy as an economic weapon against us. We will defend our economic interests with military force if necessary.
See?
And if China success...
Hey, see, let's get that. See that's prophecy. What's his name? I can't. Jane. Struggling with his name. Let's get that Habakkuk, Haggai chapter 2, verses 6 through 9 again. So this same prophetic pattern continues when scripture moves for natural systems into a broader theme of global shaking. See, this is the Lord is shaking. It's a global shaking right here. All right, it said and redistribution of power. See, right now the Lord, this is a shaking, man. China, man, this dude gonna say China spent so many years to try to avoid America to build themselves up, man. And now America trying to ruin that is fucking trying to step on their toes. And they import a lot of oil and shit, And America see that. That's why they doing what they doing. These elites doing that shit. But they don't know till they detriment it's gonna get them X'd out, man. Okay, it says scripture moves from national systems into broader theme of global shaking. and redistribution of power. See, that's what happened. See, America was that only world dominant power back then, 30 years ago. We're actually after World War II, or during the World War II, the middle of the 20th century, you know? World War I and World War II, I think. Yep, yeah. So what began as economic strength is repeatedly shown to be something that can be removed without warning. The emphasis is not only on collapse, but on the illusion of stability. See, in America, they got that illusion of stability that precedes it. So the prophet describes systems that appear fortified yet remain dependent on conditions outside human control. So this set the stage for the ideal of security built on commerce alone is temporary, see? So hey, commerce alone, all this shit is temporary. The Lord finna get ready, you know, he's shaking these kingdoms up, man. He's finna get ready destroy all of them, man, and set up his king with King David, Lord Yahweh, then King David, and then 144,000, and that's that order. And so on, so far on down. All right, it says, Haggai chapter 2, verse 6, it says, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens. So the Lord gonna shake the heaven. Them ICBM missiles are gonna get shot to and fro. And the earth and the sea and the dry land. And I will shake all nations. Say what? And I will shake all nations. Say what? And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith Yahweh of hosts. The Lord said, hey, the silver is mine, the gold is mine, saith Yahweh of hosts. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than the former, saith Yahweh of hosts. And in this place will I give peace. So he gonna give us peace, man, saith Yahweh of hosts. We done drunk of that cup, man. See, our time, we done finished that cup, man. Now it's time for these nations to drink of this cup. So the Lord's bringing the shaking. So this shaking language expand the scope beyond one nation or a trade route into all systems, of stability. Heaven and earth, sea, land represent total structures of existence being unsettled, see? Wealth is directly redefined as belonging ultimately to the Most High, that's right. Not human system. So this removes the assumption that economic accumulation equals lasting security, see? So the focus shift from possession to authority behind what is allowed to stand. For now are the plagues, say what? For now, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 27 through 30. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and yea, say what? And yea, talking about two-thirds of our people and the wicked, and also the heathen nations gonna remain in them that trust in idol, adultery, idols, and not trusting in the Lord. Even though a lot of these nations, they know now of the Lord, they got a chance to get right, but they ain't gonna do that because that's not they think that the Bible is a joke. And they finna fuck around and find out real soon that the Bible is not no joke. All right? They finna fuck around and find out real soon who the king, who the real king of the hill is. All right? It said, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nation of dragon of Arabia shall come out with many chariots and multitude. It said, with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. See, that them missiles, man, gonna get shot off. That all they would hear them may fear and tremble. See, hey, China finna hit Iran with gonna get them some of them missiles, man. They gonna use them on America, ass, man, with that bullshit. and the small hatters. I think I seen a video where they were talking about this already. I was watching earlier. It said, where the nation of dragon of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. So they're gonna be carried as the wind. They're gonna get the shot to and from through the wind, flying in the air upon the earth. They're gonna fly upon the air into the earth, and they're gonna land wherever the Lord, them angels, is guiding them to touch down. Because you got a verse that said that the arrows they're gonna be shot off, they ain't gonna miss their mark. There's a verse in the Bible that talks about that. It might be in my breakdown. I think I already got it posted, got it set up to bring it out. It said, carry upon the earth, that all that which hear them may fear and tremble. See, people gonna fear and tremble. Also, the Carmanian raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood, and with great power, and they shall come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of Assyria. So this passage portrays instability spreading across multiple regions at once. See, some missiles gonna get shot off. It said the imagery of movement and conflict reflects breakdown of normal order between nations. At World War III, that third war, economic and political structures are replaced by chaos and reaction. See, you're gonna have civil unrest throughout the whole earth. That's the great shaking. It said economic and political structures are replaced by chaos and reaction. The scale is not localized, but widespread across territories and people. It reinforces the idea that systems can shift rapidly when restraint is removed. See, so the consistent message across both texts is that stability is conditional, not permanent. Systems that appear organized and secure are still subject to higher judgment and disruption. When multiple regions are affected simultaneously, interconnected dependence become visible. What seems like strength become exposure under pressure. The underlying warning remains centered on trust, whether it is placed in system or in something beyond them. Okay, let's get let's hear it, and then we'll close with Ezekiel. I'll get a couple more, and then we'll close. We're gonna close with this one. I'm gonna try to keep it under 2 hours. But if I can't, oh well.
If China successfully sets that example, if China shows that it can protect its energy supplies even against American opposition, then every other major power will decide that American control of energy flows is no longer absolute. India will seek its own protected supply routes. Japan will build independent energy security. Europe will diversify away from dependence on any single supply route that America controls. The whole structure of American economic power, which was built on controlling energy choke points, collapses. Let me address the question everyone is asking. Would this actually lead to war between America and China? Would two nuclear powers really fight over oil tankers in the Persian Gulf? And my answer is, it could. Not because either side wants war, but because both sides have interests they see as non-negotiable. America sees maintaining global military dominance and controlling strategic choke points as essential to American power. China sees energy security and economic survival as non-negotiable. When two powers have interests that cannot fit together and cannot be given up, conflict becomes possible. Not certain, but possible. And the risk increases every day this Hormuz situation continues. Every day that the Chinese economy suffers from energy disruption is a day that increases Chinese willingness to take risks to solve the situation. Every day that America keeps the position that only American interests matter in the Gulf is a day that increases the chance of a Chinese military response. This is a classic security dilemma. Both sides take actions they believe are defensive, but that the other side reads as threatening. And security dilemmas have historically led to wars that nobody actually wanted, but that everybody felt forced to fight. Now let me explain what China's warning shows about the changing global order. Because this warning is not just about energy. This is China announcing that the unipolar world is over. For 30 years since the Cold War ended, America has been the only superpower. American military power was unchallenged. American economic preferences shaped global rules. American currency dominated international trade. And other nations, even powerful nations like China, accepted this arrangement because challenging it seemed too costly and too dangerous. But China's warning over Hormuz is China saying that era is finished. We are powerful enough now to challenge American one-sided action. We are willing to accept the risks of confrontation to protect our interests. We will not allow our economy to be held hostage to American military decisions. This is not China trying to replace American dominance with Chinese dominance. This is China demanding a multipolar world where multiple great powers have spheres of influence and where no single power can act alone without considering the interests of other powers. And once China sets this example, once China shows that it can successfully challenge American action, the whole global system shifts. Russia will be encouraged to challenge American influence in Europe and Central Asia. India will assert itself more strongly in South Asia. Regional powers will pursue independent policies without giving in to American preferences. The world becomes messier, more competitive, more likely to have friction between competing powers. Let me walk you through what this means for ordinary people around the world. If you are in America, understand that your government now faces a choice it has not faced since the Cold War. Back down from confrontation with China, which means accepting reduced American influence globally, or escalate confrontation with China, which means accepting the risk of great power war. Both options are terrible. Both options mean major changes to American power and American prosperity. Your economic security, your job prospects, your savings, all of it depends on how this confrontation is managed. If America chooses escalation and it goes badly, you could face economic crisis, military mobilization, possible conflict. If America chooses to back down, you face the slow weakening of America's global position, which means less demand for dollars, less ability to borrow cheaply, and an eventual decline in living standards. If you are in China, your government is taking enormous risks on your behalf. China is willing to confront America to protect energy security. That confrontation could go terribly wrong. The Chinese economy could be damaged by American retaliation. Chinese cities could face conflict. Chinese prosperity that has been built over 40 years could be put in danger. If you are in Europe or Japan, you are watching your two most important economic partners, America and China, move toward confrontation, and you will be forced to choose sides. Support America and lose access to Chinese markets. Support China and lose American security guarantees. Either choice damages your economy and your security. If you are in the developing world, you will suffer the most from great power confrontation. The global trade system that allows your nations to develop will be disrupted. Energy prices will stay high. Food prices will jump. Economic assistance from developed nations will decline as they focus on their own confrontations. You will face the consequences of decisions made by great powers that have no concern for your well-being. Now let me address what Trump's options are in response to China's warning. Option 1. Ignore the Chinese warning and continue current policy. This means accepting that China might follow through on its threats. American forces might face Chinese-supplied weapons. American ships might encounter Chinese naval escorts. The risk of a direct clash rises sharply, but backing down means looking weak. Option 2. Negotiate with China. Offer to reopen the strait in exchange for Chinese pressure on Iran. Work out an agreement where Chinese energy security is protected and American interests are served. This requires compromise, accepting that China has real interests.
That's where you fail to realize that this ain't gonna happen, man. There ain't no compromise. Now they might compromise. They might come with that fake peace. But it ain't gonna work, man. The Lord ain't gonna happen, man. It ain't gonna happen. I just read it. Let's get some more scripture. Let's go here to Ezekiel 28. So the prophetic pattern now shift from collapse of system that was coming to a more condition that triggered instability within those systems. Hey, this is what's coming. It says scripture often connects economic networks with ethical corruption, rather than treating them as neutral structures. All right. The issue is not trade itself, but what it becomes when driven by exploitation and pride. When profit overrides justice, the system is described as carrying its own judgment internally. This creates the cause and effect structure rather than random destruction, see? And this is what's going to happen. As long as the Lord keeping their mind to be stubborn towards one another, this thing gonna escalate. All right. Trump, he don't want to back down. They gonna, you got what's his name, Lindsey Graham in his ear, pumping him up, cause he got interest. He be licking his tongue, talking. He love the war. He want this war. He been doing this for over 40-some years. Lindsey Graham. All right. It said Ezekiel chapter 28 verses 4 and 5. It said, so these issues is not trade itself, but what is become when driven by exploitation and pride. See, it said so these nations are driven by issue. It said they are driven by pride, man. It said the issue is not trade itself, but what is become. What it becomes. It said when driven by exploitation and pride. See. It said when profit overrides justice, the system is described as carrying its own judgment internally. This creates a cause and effect structure rather than random destruction. Ezekiel chapter 28 verses 4. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast gotten the riches, and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. So this is what America have gotten, both China and America. all these big superpowers, you know, they got, but more so it's addressing America, Esau, Edom. It said, you know, a lot of these companies became rich with Esau, Edom, man. They were conspiring in Psalms 83, you know. Read Psalms 83. It said, with thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasure. See, this man got gold and silver into his treasure. It said, but thy great wisdom, and it said by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic. Say what? By thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. See, this man's heart is lifted up. All right. It said this passage directly links economic expansion with internal evaluation of pride. See, wisdom and trade are not condemned in themselves, but they become corrupt by self-exaltation. Riches are shown as amplifying the condition of heart rather than improving it. The warning centers on identity, shifting from stewardship to self-glorification. This is what we're seeing. Say economic success become spiritually dangerous when it alters perception of authority and control. And this is what we're seeing. All right, let's get James. Matter of fact, we'll get that next. Let's hear the rest of this here, and then we'll close it with that one. We still got 4 minutes. All right, here I'll keep it.
Accepting that China has real interests that America must make room for. This is rational, but politically difficult. Option 3, escalate. Threaten China with economic retaliation. Increase American military presence to deter Chinese action. Make clear that America will not be limited by Chinese warnings. This is the most dangerous option and the most likely to lead to direct confrontation. My prediction is Trump will choose option 3 at first. Escalate, ignore the warning, maintain that America sets the terms in the Gulf. But reality will force a shift toward option 2. The cost of confrontation with China will become too much to bear. Allies will pressure for compromise. Businesses will demand protection of trade relationships. The military will warn about the risks of simultaneous conflicts. Eventually, a negotiated arrangement will appear. But that arrangement will represent a basic shift in global power. America will have accepted that it cannot control Hormuz without Chinese agreement. Once that example is set, American global dominance is permanently reduced. Let me bring this all together. China has warned America, if you touch our energy lifeline, we will respond. This warning is not diplomatic posturing. This is strategic communication of real intent. China is willing to risk confrontation with America to protect Chinese energy security. This changes the Iran conflict from a regional war into a possible great power clash. It shows that the unipolar era is ending and multipolar competition is beginning. It threatens the economic system that gave America global dominance, and it forces everyone, Americans, Chinese, allies, adversaries, ordinary people, everywhere, to prepare for a basically different and more dangerous world. The Strait of Hormuz is not just about oil tankers. It is about whether America can still single-handedly control critical global choke points. China is saying no. And that answer, that rejection of American one-sided control, changes everything. The question is not whether you want this change. The question is whether you understand it and are preparing for it. Because this change is happening no matter what anyone prefers. China's warning over Hormuz is the moment when the change from American unipolarity to great power multipolarity became impossible to deny, and we are all going to live with the consequences. The cheap energy world depended on American control of the Gulf. That control is being challenged. The petrodollar system depended on everyone needing to buy energy with dollars. Alternative systems are being built. The global security system depended on America being willing and able to enforce rules by itself. That willingness and ability are being tested. If China's warning is successful, if China forces American acceptance of Chinese interests, then the whole global system reshapes itself around multipolar competition rather than American dominance. And that reshaped world will be more complex, more competitive, more dangerous, and much less predictable than the world we have known for the past 30 years. Understanding that now, preparing for it now, adapting to it now, this is not optional. This is survival in a changing world. Tell me in the comments, do you think China is bluffing? Do you think China would actually risk confrontation with America over the Strait of Hormuz? Or do you think this warning will force America to change its approach? Because your answer to that question decides what kind of world comes out of this crisis. Subscribe for continued analysis as this confrontation develops.
Hey, so this thing finna go down, Jack.
Something just happened in the Middle East that...
Yeah, this gonna close right here. Let's get James chapter 5 verses 1 through 5. It said, "Go now, ye rich man, and weep and howl for your misery." Say what? For your misery that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupt. So the Lord is saying, hey, ye devil's riches are corrupt. And your garments are moth-eaten. So the Lord is saying they garments are moth-eaten. Your gold, say what? Your gold, say what? Your gold and silver is cankered. So they gold and they silver is cankered. It said, and more so, he's really addressing Esau Edom, man, America, man. He already done put on China and Russia is just sitting back. They watching this thing, man. Till the Lord put that spirit on them, and then they gonna react, which all gonna escalate, man. Things ain't gonna get no better. It's finna get more evil. We're gonna get more evil. As the scripture said. Matter of fact, let's get that one real quick. I'm gonna bring that out before I close. Go right here and get it. Right here. Right here. Oh. All right, yeah. I'm gonna start right here. It said, speak in the ears of my people the words of prophecy that I will put in your mouth, says Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are trustworthy and true. So these prophecies are popping like popcorn. They trustworthy and true. It said, do not fear the plot against you. So the prophets are not to worry about the plots against us. And it said, do not fear the plots against you, and do not be troubled by the unbelief of those who oppose you. So 2/3 of our people oppose us, right? It says, for all the unbelievers, see, 2/3 of our people are unbelievers. You got people, man, our people fleeing from things getting hard. They fleeing, but they don't know wherever they go, they're gonna have to face the music. They're gonna have to face judgment, man. Because we still under these goddamn curses. All right? I don't care where you run. You ain't finna hide from the Lord. We under judgment, man. See, that's our people that don't know the Bible. They've been misled the wrong way. All right? By these false prophets. All right? It said, the Lord told us to sit still and watch the hand of the Lord. Hey, that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting still and doing like what's required of me. The Lord said, hey, the men's supposed to be prophets, man. We supposed to be out here prophesying, like talking these prophets into existence, man. That's what starting with the elder apostles and the bishops and like-minded men on down, myself doing. And the Lord is making it happen. He's making it happen, Jack. And so he said, for all the unbelievers shall die in their unbelief. All right? See? So when you go right up here, it said, beware, says Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. I am bringing evil. No, he bringing good time. He coming on a donkey with pom-pom. You know, that sounds like something that fake white man Jesus, that character, Caesar Borgia would do. It says right here, our Lord is a man of war. Okay, it said, beware, says Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. I am bringing evil. That's my boy out of South Carolina. He be saying, evil. I am bringing evil upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Why, Lord? Because iniquity, see, iniquity has spread throughout every land, see? And their harmful doings have reached their limits. Therefore, says the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that's the Lord, that's his name, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Verse 8, I will be silent no longer concerning their ungodly act that they impiously commit. Neither will I tolerate their wicked practices. Okay, wicked practice, see? That's that, that AI and all the other shit they be doing in the dark, you see? And sending out these enchantments and shit, putting spells. You got these women putting spells on these dudes. You got these niggas crashing out. Hey, man, listen, man. Old girl be done rub that monkey on his ass, boy. That bot. Okay? And these niggas going, young niggas going crashing out, boy. Crazy, boy. You know, I'm just having a little fun with it, y'all. Okay, let's go. So the Lord said, the Lord said, I will not tolerate their wicked practices. The Lord went on and said, innocent and righteous blood cries out to me, and the souls of the righteous cry out continually. See, our people, man, start the elder apostles, the bishops, and like-minded men on down. And some of the sisters, hey, we crying out. And some of the youngsters, children, they coming up. Hey, especially those that done got that covering on, man, they listening. I had a lot of youngsters, man. They called me old. They said old school. Man, I'm listening to old school. I know they probably watch my videos. Some of their family members probably got my video, and they probably, playing for the family. That's beautiful. It said, and I will surely avenge them. See? So, hey, the Lord said he's not gonna tolerate their wicked practices. Okay? Matter of fact, let's look that word wicked practices up, man. Like I ain't gonna get over that 2 hour, 2:05 mark. Let's look up that word wicked practices. Okay. Y'all, hold on, bear with me here. And we're going to find out what wicked practices mean in the Hebrew. So in the Hebrew, the ideal of wicked practices isn't usually one single fixed phrase. It depends on the verse, but it come from a few key Hebrew roots. All right, So Hebrew root word would be rasha. That means evil. It said wicked practices, wicked in Hebrew, it said most often is used, often the word is meaning wicked, guilty, morally wrong, see? It said one who breaks the covenant order, see? Hey man, this nigga Esau done all this here, man. And 2/3 of our people done did it too. Hey, we done did it too, but a lot of us done repented from that. Like worshiping false gods and shit. And other things that we done under the sun. We had to continue the act for forgiveness daily, man. It got to be a daily thing. And you got to mean it. If you believe the report. It said, meaning a wicked, guilty, morally wrong, one who breaks covenant order. It doesn't just mean bad person. It is a casual sense. It carries the ideal of acting in rebellion against righteousness. See, hey, these devils doing all that. They guilty of all this. It said violating moral and divine order. Man, this nigga doing all that. Esau Edom. Being guilty before judgment. Man, he's doing all this, man. 2, wicked/evil practices. See? Evil practice. It said another key word is meaning wickedness, injustice, wrongdoing as a system of behavior. See? All this I just read. It said this is often used for corrupt systems, unjust action, habitual evil conduct. See? Not just one mistake. So these at least starting with the Rothschild and on down, all Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, whatever they name, all these elites, all these wicked at Peter Thiel, all these goddamn wicked demons. Man, it's right here. It says, meaning wickedness, injustice, wrongdoing as a system of behavior. See? This is often used for corrupt systems, unjust actions, habitual evil conduct, not just one mistake, practice deeds. It said when practices is added in English translation, it usually comes from deeds, see? Deeds, works, actions, masek, all right? Direct, equal way, conduct, lifestyle. So these action, these works and action is masa, and direct, equal way, conduct, lifestyle, path. So wicked practices is often describing the deeds, masha, masa, of the wicked, rasha, or the way of injustice, direct, Russia. It said what it means together biblically. When you combine it, wicked practices in Hebrew thought mean repeated unjust actions. Man, are we not seeing this in these devils? And that time is coming to an abrupt end. All praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rikakodah. I got to clap on that one, boy. It's almost coming, boy. We almost at the end of this, man. Reign of terror on the earth, man. It said lifestyle of rebellion against righteousness. Are we not seeing this? Corrupt conduct that become a way of life. Not just accidental sin, but established behavior, see? example, idea in Hebrew mindset, it's less about isolated mistakes and more like a path someone walks consistently. Consistently that produces injustice. This is what these devils doing. All right. Let's go and close with this. Let's go back here. Hold on. Okay, let's close right here. I got some beautiful precept. Man, I'm gonna bring out another lesson today, cause I got to piggyback off the priest Mississippi video. I got him on deck, and then I got Elder Yasha Wumble. I'm gonna start doing more often the brothers videos. I'm gonna bring them in here with me. I'm trying to find that last precept, cause I'm gonna close. So Ezekiel chapter 28 verses 4 and 5, it said, with thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast gotten thee riches. So with their wisdom and with their understanding have gotten them riches. All right, it said, with thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasure. See, that's what they have done. They stole, conquered, pursued Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 6 and 7. All right, this man transgressed by wine, man. He laid of himself in thick clay. That's that heavy debt. In Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. It said by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches. See, these devils done got rich. And thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. See, their heart is lifted up because of their riches. So this passage directly links economic expansion with internal elevation of pride. See, are we not seeing this? Wisdom and trade are not condemned in themselves, but they become corrupt by self-exaltation. Are we not seeing this? Riches are shown as exemplifying and condition of the heart. See, are we not seeing this? Rather than improving it. It said the warning centers on identity shifting from stewardship to self-glorification. Are we not seeing this with Esau, Edom? Economic success become spiritually dangerous. See? And then he just said that, talk about that dangerous. So they spiritually dangerous. When it alters a perception of authority and control. See, this is what happened when they alter a perception of authority and control. Okay, James chapter 5 verses 1 through 5 again. It said, go now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your misery. Say what? So misery is coming upon these devils. It said, howl for your misery. Say what? For your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches, say what? Your riches are corrupt. So the Lord saying these devils' riches are corrupt. Your garments are moth eating. So their garments are moth eating. Your gold, say what? Your gold, say what? your gold and silver is cankered. So the Lord saying he heathen gold, mainly Esau, Edom, silver and gold is cankered. And the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh. Say what? And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. See? And hey, this is what's going to happen to the greedy ass devil. And then the top of the top, and they kids, all the way down to the third and fourth generation as it's going into slavery, head on in slavery for 1,000 years. Hey, this is what's coming, man. It says, your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. So the Lord finna burn their ass up, man. It says, cause that silver and that gold. It says, ye have heaped, say what? Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. See? So they reaping treasure for the last days, for to give to us. All right? They're gonna go back into the Lord's treasure. And all that we don't harbor, we're gonna build our cities with our streets with silver and gold. I mean, with gold. Hey, I actually watched some Kingdom Prepper with my man. What's his name? And he used to do lessons on this here. You know, Kingdom Prepper. Yeah, I remember him. He had a good. I like, but the only thing I used to get irritated with him about, he used to use that word Yeshua instead of using the Lord's real name. Gates, that's his name. I can't think. I forgot his first name. But he was a professor. You know, he educated man. You know. But yeah, he did a video and it was beautiful. And I used to watch all this stuff. You know, I might bring out some of his lessons, but you know, but I'm gonna use the word Yahweh for addressing when he said Yeshua. He don't use it. That's one thing about him. He don't use that word Christ. That don't come in his unless he teaching it and breaking it down, you know, like we do. But he still goes out with using Yeshua. Okay? Which, you know, that's with that dash point that bring that E in there, you know, and ain't no E's in the ancient paleo. We were saying Abba, God, so on and so forth. So let's continue on with the lesson. It said, your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire, and ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. See? Behold, the hire of the laborers who shall reap down your fields, which of you kept back by fraud. See, hey, this is Esau, Edom, and that MAGA. All them devils are guilty. Donald Trump, them, they all guilty. It says, and what they continue to do to us, the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, along with these speckled birds. It said, ye have reaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire and the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. Cry up. See, we crying. It said, and the cries of them say what? And the cries of them say what? And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, the Lord of hosts. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai of heaven's army. Okay? So that's why the Lord is acting now. He said, here's the economic accumulation is judged through the lens of labor and justice. Wealth is described as a canker showing decay inside what appears valuable externally. The system is condemned. Say what? The system is condemned, and not for possession, but for imbalance and withheld wages. See? Are they not doing this here? Hey, you got a lot of them people that work for the airport, man, they probably still ain't got paid. Airline on a government shutdown. I think that was last month ago. It still might be like that, man. Okay, so here's the economic accumulation is judged through the lens of the labor and justice. Wealth is described as cankered, showing decay inside what appears valuable externally. The system is condemned not for possession, but for imbalance and withheld wages. See, accumulated treasures is framed as evidence of long-term injustice rather than success. See, so the Lord is framing this as long-term injustice rather than success. The passage ties the economic system directly to moral accountability before judgment. See, and that's what's going on. All right. So let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 6, and I'm gonna read from 18 to 20. It said, "And it came to pass that when I had spoken the words that were sent unto me, the angel which had been sent unto me had been sent unto me the night afore, and he said unto me, stand up." Say what? Stand up and hear the words that I am come to tell thee, for I am sent to show thee many things, and to open, say what? And to open to thee the things to come. See, so the Lord revealed his secret to his servant, the prophets. All right? Starting with the elder apostles and the bishops and like-minded men on down to myself. All right? And we showing y'all the things to come. So this passage shifts focus from visible systems to revealed understanding behind events. Are we not doing this? It emphasizes that what is seen in the world is part of a larger unfolding order. See? Hey, this is the Lord's movie, baby. It says the message is delivered progressively. See? We delivering this message progressively, indicating layers of understanding rather than surface interpretation. See? It reinforces that future conditions are not random, but revealed in stages. See, the structure suggests that the comprehension precedes clarity in interpreting world events. See, and the Lord is blessing us to interpret break these world events down to you all. The church ain't doing it. All right, it said the combined threads across this text is that systems are not judged only at collapse, but formed through accumulated internal conditions. See? Are we not seeing this? It said wealth, trade, and expansion are consistently evaluated through more direction, see? Rather than scale. All right? What appears as external success is shown to carry external evidence of imbalance. Are we not seeing this? See, the Lord is through the prophets, man, we're like witnesses. And right now the Lord is doing making inquisition on this man and how he and how he hurt the earth. All right. All right, judgment is described as both revelation and consequences rather than sudden interruption alone. The deeper warning is about, it said the deeper warning, say what? The deeper warning is about what is being built inside the system before anything outwardly changes, see? So, hey, I hope you all was edified with the lesson. I'm gonna leave it right there. And man, that was a beautiful lesson, man. I hope y'all ready at 2 minutes. All right, but let's get a prayer in. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kadash. All heavenly praise and honor and glory go to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kadash. And second, I'd like to give double shouts and double honor to my elder teachers who I'm learning from, who I've been learning for over 10 years now. It's been over 10 years. It's been about, I don't know, I think it's around about 11, 12. But hey, it's a blessing learning from these brothers, man. I done grew a lot. You know, hey, I couldn't do it without these elders, man. That's why I send these videos to you all, for y'all to watch and get inspired. This is the new way of teaching, man. We teaching y'all the new way and the correct way. You know, and it's, you know, y'all better get it while the getting is good. Cause man, the Lord about to shut this thing down, man. And once he shut it down, man, he finna bring about that tribulation, man, that great tribulation, man. And those that ain't got that covering, man, they ain't gonna get, the Lord finna fuck them up, man. You finna die of a horrible death. All right, so I'm hoping I'm not one of those guys where I'm continuing to try to serve the Lord to the best of my ability. You know, by doing what I'm doing right now, staying motivated daily into the scriptures and meditating daily on watching videos throughout the day, and then just getting built up in the faith to do an edifying lesson like what I'm doing now for you all. So I hope you all was edified. And third, I would like to say shalom, shalom, shalom to all the like-minded men on down as myself that pushing his word in truth and sincerity and calling on Lord Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, with truth, in spirit and truth, all right? And having that faith, all right? Without it, man, you ain't gonna get that far. So, and fourth, I'd like to say shalom, shalom, shalom to all the like-minded sisters that's learning in silence and teaching the younger women how to be women and how to serve their better half instead of making them look bad. Okay, because hey, right now, that Isaiah 4:1, I watched a video earlier, man. That Isaiah 4:1 finna kick in on this side real soon here. So with that being said, I hope you all edified. May Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai be with us all, men, women, and children going into the great tribulation, and he be with us. With all said, shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm out.